Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and today we're going to be talking about a pack that has completely revolutionized Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. This is something that, upon its addition into the game, has completely, I'd say, flipped a lot of the economies on its heads, giving you access to materials that otherwise you weren't really able to get before. And honestly, I think it's probably one of the best packs to purchase, even above some of the Lightspeed bundles that have been released into the game. So go ahead, please like and subscribe, comment down below. Let's give a huge shout out to our channel members again for their continued support. If you're ever interested, link down below, along with link to Discord server. Go check that out. Thank you guys for keeping the faith, for believing in me, putting up for when maybe I'm not streaming, or if I am streaming, it's not roster reviews, but you guys know the drill. If you've got a question, you're a channel member, the DMs are open, the Discord is open, just ask away, and you guys do a great job of that, so I really appreciate it. But let's get in here. I want to talk about this pack and kind of break down just how valuable it is to you as a community. So again, we're going to use a screen capture here. We're going to go to a little spreadsheet that I made. If you're free to play, this is still an important thing to understand, because as a free to play, I often found listening to someone talk about the value of a pack gave me information on where I should be spending my resources. That if a whale sees value in something, it's normally important. A great example is these it's like these Oppo packs, right? Where the whales will go buy the Omicrons and they get the Oppo shards. They don't care about the rest of this stuff, but they care about the Omicrons and they care about the new Oppo shards, obviously because they want to whale on Oppo. But the Omicrons are a big part of that. So, if you know Omicrons are important to the game as a free-to-play, you know with whatever currency you have that you should be paying attention to them. So that's just, as you listen to this and you hear what I'm saying, even if you're free to play, I want you to keep listening, because you might learn how to spend some of the resources that you have and be a little bit smarter. So here is our screen capture, and of course we're talking about the episode pass, if you didn't guess already. This is the best $20 purchase in my opinion. I buy the regular pass every single time. This will unlock the bonus episode track, again, exclusive Galactic Challenge feats. The Pass Plus, if you are a whale of whale and you're trying to, what this Pass Plus will do, right? If you're a whale of whale, all this does is it will allow you to get to the first couple milestones, the first 10 milestones. You'll get here faster, right? You'll get here almost immediately, right? And then what it does is it gets you to this bonus box at the end faster. And this bonus box is important for the Whale of Whales because a lot of them now need to get here a little bit more quickly because they want to be purchasing these exclusive datacrons, and so they need all the currency they can get and any way to get there faster. So I do believe that those exclusive crons going in this store was a way to try to get players to upgrade to this pass. I personally don't see the value here, but that's just, my own, that's just my own thing. It's just the, the way that I personally see it. That's not to say that it can't be, valuable to certain players, but to me, I just don't see it, right? It's just not something that I personally value. So, let's, again, just making sure you guys understand the difference between Pass and Pass Plus. So let's break down these rewards. So again, I grabbed all of these. I took this little thing here and I summarized it. Again, I think maybe that you've seen some of this, but maybe not with the crystal equivalent. So the first thing you're going to get is 82,000 additional episode currency, but that doesn't include any extra you'd obtain from clearing the track faster. So again, going back into the game, which again, I'll flip back and forth a lot here, it doesn't, because you will get to this box faster. And the reason you'll get there faster is you get these like episode quests, right? You'll get certain episode quests that are specific to having the pass, and so you'll be able to complete that faster. Think of your galactic challenges as well. Oops, not the Marquee. Your galactic challenges, there's the feat around completing with the episode pass that awards you extra, points. And so you will end up moving faster and getting more episode currency beyond just this 82,000. But I don't know what amount that would be, so even just 82,000. Now, there's no crystal equivalent to that. You can't purchase this with crystals, and the crystal equivalent would kind of depend on what you're doing. So not really that big of a deal. But just to show you how this kind of adds up over time, look at after 1 year, if you buy this for 12 months, that's almost 1 million extra currency. After 2 years, 3 years, 5 years of purchasing this, you have an insane amount of extra currency that you would have earned. So my advice, again, if you are looking at this, that's a lot of extra purchases. Think of all the extra things you can purchase that other players will not be. That's a big advantage. Especially for those of you in the earlier stages of the game, this could allow you to progress significantly faster than others. The next one we're going to look at here is the Marquee shards. So every single time that a new Marquee character is released, they are a part of the bonus track. Now notice I have 40 shards here, right? Which should really be 20 plus 20 just to demonstrate that. So the reason why it's 20 plus 20, if you go here, the first pass reward, you get Oppo. And then note, CX2 will have an episode pass quest for their 20 shards. So the crystal equivalent is 80. Now that is not completely accurate. I only went off of these shipment costs. So any crystal equivalent you see here is based on the shipment cost. We're not going into special packs or anything like that. It's just, all right, when it's available via shipments, what's the cost? So for example, with Oppo right now, you can only buy him in this whale pack, in the whale packs, which are way more expensive than 280 or 80 crystals per piece. But when you look at like the shipments for Batcher here, 4 shards, 320 crystals, that comes out to 80 crystals per piece. So that's kind of the cost we're using for those Marquee unit shards. So we're even undercutting a little bit, but I think that's a fair assessment, is calling it 80. So that's 3,200 crystals worth of Marquee shards from this bundle. The other thing to bear in mind is that the Marquee shards that they give you allow you to unlock the 4-star tier. And that 4-star tier of those Marquee events, right? This is the part that I think sometimes doesn't always factor into people. That's tier 3 here, right? Where you need a 4-star Oppo. You are going to get about 40 extra shards every single time every single character, 40 extra shards worth. On top of the 20 you get, you're going to get 40 from getting to this tier plus additional Kyrotech. And you think for this, because this Marquee pass is going to have Oppo and CX2, you're looking at 40 shards for Oppo, 40 shards for CX2, and the extra Kyrotech along with it. It is a lot of extra rewards baked into this $20 pack. So I want you just, again, think through that a little bit. It is pretty significant, those shards. And then again, just to kind of show, all right, well, what would happen if, you get this for like to the end of time, right? At that point, 480. Now that's only if 2 characters are released per month. That doesn't always happen, so this might not be perfect. But you think even after a year, if they release even, say, 9 times, right? 9 months we get this, that's still 360 shards. That's a full character. So that's a pretty significant haul there, right? That's a pretty significant haul in character shards. And that does add up. That's less farming that you have to do. And this is not factoring in any of the extra bonus shards you get. So then the next thing we've got here is Gyrda keypads. Again, Gyrda keypads cost 250 crystals per piece. That's the shipment cost. And you get 5 of those every single pass. We will go and show you guys what the total crystal equivalent is, but we are waiting. So 5 Gyrda keypads, 1,250. Just to show you the year. Over a year, that's 60. 2 years is 120. Now, I want you to pay attention to this 120 here. The reason that's extremely important, that 120 is important there, is because when you look at the journey guide and you think about what you need for, say, Leviathan and Profundity, where you need 1 Relic 9 here, 2 Relic 9s here, and then you need 3 for Ahsoka. Right? There's 6 total Relic 9 requirements in the game for the journey guide. When you do that math, you need 20 Gyrda keypads to go from Relic 8 to Relic 9. So after 2 years of buying this pass, without doing any other kind of rewards, purchases, anything else, no scrapping, you will have enough Gyrda keypads to fulfill that Relic 9. So to fulfill all of those Relic 9 requirements, that is a crazy, crazy stat to think about. I don't know that people recognize that, But that's what the value of this pack in my mind really comes down to, is that, yes, you're not getting a lot of it all at once, but you think every single month this is going to keep stacking up. And sure, it's $20 a month, but you guys are going to see that it's very valuable. And it's the time that every single time you'd purchase this, boom, look at what you're getting, right? So that is very, that adds up quickly. Next, we've got Aeromagnifiers, right? Here, you're going to get 10 of these every single month, which is a crystal equivalent of 2,500. After 1 year, again, 120, 240, 360, 600. Now, again, you're going to need more than this, right? And you'll need more Gyrda keypads too. Jeez. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog. She's like trying to stretch out, and she's like, do you see her back there? I don't know if you guys can see this. Hold on. Do you see her? Yeah. So she's right over here, and she's like stretching against this wood table. I don't know why you go back there, Ari. She's like, I don't get it. Because my other one, sorry, he's right here in his house, and I don't get it. But she like goes in that little spot. It's her favorite spot. Sorry, it was very distracting for me hearing like this wood like just creaking. Anyway, you're gonna get a lot of Aeromagnifiers, and again, those Aeromagnifiers, the big thing here is those are gated behind territory wars. Those are gated behind Mark III currency. So any extra you get are just bonus at this point. I think it's, again, 2,500 crystals. It's pretty significant. We'll show you guys the math behind the total crystal thing. But already, just looking at this, you're at over almost 7,000 crystals worth every single month. Next, we have Zetas. Now, Zetas, in my opinion, do not have a conversion to crystals. It's not possible to convert them to crystals because I cannot go physically purchase crystals physically purchase Zetas with crystals. If I want to go find some Zetas here, I do not have a path to purchase them with crystals. And so there's no crystal conversion. And that's a big deal, right? That's those, 10 extra Zetas. Again, you're going to say, oh, Phil, but that's not that many. That's 6 extra Zetas a year. That's Galactic Legend Zetas. So think that every year that you would buy this pack, that's a Galactic Legend Zetas that you didn't need to farm. That's nice, especially when you don't have a lot of other ways to get them. That's a resource that CG has really held on to. So value there is significant. Similarly, with this next resource, we're going to Omicrons. Now, you only get 8 Omicrons, but you think still 96 Omicrons, something that, again, not able to convert those to crystals, something that's extremely difficult to come by. Any extra you can get is significant, right? And just, again, think this is 96, so that's almost 5 full Zetas, or 5 full Omicrons a year. So imagine that you're going up against people who aren't buying this, and after a year, you've got 5 extra Omicrons. It's nice. Again, it adds up. It's this thing that maybe, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you're not really noticing a change, but if you do this consistently, you will notice how much quicker your account is getting to things because you'll have this income that you weren't used to before. I've noticed it already with my Aeromagnifiers, Gyrda keypads, some of those resources that I was normally very, very strict with, I'm able to be a lot more free with because I know I'm getting extras of them. I know that I'm earning more than I was before, right? The next piece here we're going to talk about is Zimbato cards. You're going to get 15 of these every single month. That's 2,100 crystals worth of Zimbato cards. Again, solid. Is it a crazy amount? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. But is it enough that you can do some extra things with? Yes. I think, 15 is a very solid number of those. And for a lot of you, that's a piece that's kind of awkward, right? Because it sort of takes up the same currency that your Aeromagnifiers and impulse detectors do. It takes up the same kind of gear that you would be farming, either for your Kyrotechs or for fleet stuff for Gear 13. So it's, it's not a fun piece to craft. To get an extra 15 a month is, in my opinion, that's good value. And again, look at like just 900 of those over, 180 a year, 360 after 2. It's the adding up that gets you. I feel like that really helps drive this point home. Next, 5 Droid Brains a year. 1,500 crystals worth of Droid Brains. After a year, think about it. Same thing with the Gyrda keypads, that these and these are equivalent. So that means with this pass, as long as you're consistently, getting here. Every single time you purchase it, you're getting an equal amount of Gyrda keypads and droid brains. So that allows you to kind of pace yourself and figure out, hey, every year you can do 3 extra Relic 9s with these materials than you would have before. Because again, the Aeromagnifiers, right? You're going to get 120 of them. And to kind of continue on with that, you get down to the impulse detectors where you're going to get 10, which translates to 180 crystals. Why is that significant? Well, because that, again, aligns with the Aeromagnifier. So between your Gyrda keypads, droid brains, Aeromagnifier, impulse detectors, Gyrda keypads, like, whatever the hell. Relic 8s and 9s, oh my. Relic 8s and 9s, oh my. They're keeping pace with each other. So you're going to get an equal amount of each of them. And the idea, what I like about this pass, is that it's double the amount of impulse detectors and Aeromagnifiers as Gyrda keypads and droid brains. So you could think of it as 3 Relic 9 upgrades a year with those resources. And honestly, for Zimito cards, it's the same thing, except it's a little bit extra because you need 50 to go from Relic 6 to Relic 9. So you're going to have, you're getting 180. You'll have 30 left over to go spend on whatever you want. But it's extra Relic 9 upgrades, which is huge because a lot of us, that's the direction that we're heading. We're heading towards more Relic 9 upgrades. This is giving you the ability to get those resources ready for those things. And I think that's significant, especially for a game that is as drawn out as SWGOH. You think after a couple of years, this has a huge impact on your account for $20. And then finally, we've got Kyrotechs. You're going to get 300 total. No, it's not 300, is it? Yeah, 300. Because you get the first one here is this Mark 7 Kyrotech power converter, this Mark 7 shock prod, and the Mark 9 battle computer. Each of those, just for perspective's sake, right? Those are these pieces here. This piece here, and this piece here, and this piece here. Each of those contain, right, if I go to my Tusken Warrior, for example, each of those contain 50 of those and 50 of those. All right, if I go to Oppo and, 50, 50. So that's 100 Kyrotech for each of those pieces. 100 Kyrotech. So over the course of the time you're buying this, you're going to get 3,600 Kyrotech a month. For a crystal equivalent perspective, that's 8,400 crystals worth of Kyrotechs, because Kyrotechs cost 28 crystals per piece in the shipment store. That's a crazy amount of Kyrotech. 300 is huge. And for players who are beginning to think about Zepho, beginning to think about Mandalore, adding these extra Kyrotechs makes it all that much easier. So, piece de resistance. Every month, just using these crystals, not going anything crazier, not trying to factor in Zetas, Omicrons, the episode currency, what you're buying with the extra currency, just going based off of the stuff that I can value via shipments. You're getting to 20,750 crystals a month of value. A month. 20,000 crystals for $20. Now, let's say you're like, well, Phil, I don't really value it at the shipment cost. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to divide this by 4, right? 5,000. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? You're right. We're going to divide it by 4. It's only worth 5,000 crystals. 5,000 crystals is, okay, for $20, you're going to get 5,000 crystals. We're going to ignore the, bear in mind the Zetas, Omicrons, episode currency. So you got 5,000 crystals there. If I was to go to the game and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy some crystals. 3,000 crystals is worth $20. Right? So let's just go to that. Let's go do this math real quick here. So, you know what? We'll go to the vault. The vault's the easiest. It's 165 crystals per dollar, right? You pay $100, you get 16,500. You do that math, it's 165 crystals per. So, if I go here and I say, hey, take this and divide it by 165, 31. It's $31 based on buying the vault at the discount. And that's going here. That's going if I divide this by 4. Just going based off of what you're getting here, this is worth over $100 worth of crystals based on the shipment cost. So yeah, this pass is extremely worth it. You know, and this is not sponsored by CG by any stretch of the imagination. This is just me breaking down the cost for you guys, explaining it in a way that makes sense. I think sometimes we get so caught up on, you know, oh my God, Phil, it's $20, you know, but when you see the value, it's why I'm willing to buy it, is because I saw the value, and I think CG's done a great job of creating packs like this. Like, they deserve credit. This is what I've been asking for a very long time. I said for years, you need to focus on getting packs out that aren't $100, $200 worth of crap. Give us $10, $20 packs that have a lot of value. They just don't have to give as much, right? Like, realistically, is 3 Relic 9s a year going? There's no signal data here, but you think just for the materials alone, it's not a crazy amount by any stretch, right? But for $20, you're silly not to buy this, especially if you're someone who's going to spend any kind of money in the game. Like, this is better than buying any kind of crystals. So, guys, and again, think about it. I divided by 5 and it's still worth it. I divided by 4 and it's still worth it. At the full, and that's not even including any of the crystal cost for the Zetas, Omicrons, and episode currency. So yeah, this, in my opinion, has revolutionized SWGOH, and I think that it is the best way that you can spend currency outside, you know, spend your money outside of a lot of those Lightspeed bundles. There's certain Lightspeed bundles I would put above this, but there's some that I would definitely put below. That's the end of the video. Like, subscribe, comment. I love you all. May the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, my friends.